talked to you since you signed the contract. How's the transition to the Valley been?
It's been good. The weather's been hot. I think I've been adjusted pretty early. I sit outside a lot at home, so it's a little different from that, the Florida humidity that I'm used to. But yeah, man, it's been fun. It's been normal, I would say. Not too much traffic, not too busy. But I hear everybody leaves in July, so I'm not really sure what to expect now moving forward. But I've been fortunate to be here.
How's it been just getting acclimated with the team itself?
It's been fun. I think, obviously learning guys, learning their behaviors, their personalities, seeing how well they mesh with mine, and just being around guys like leaders in that room like Buddha and JT, and just getting that, that familiar, whatever that word is. But just getting comfortable with them, just getting comfortable with everybody on the team and just having fun, playing ball again.
You've had a handful of training camps under your belt. How is this one any different? Obviously, it's only day one, but in your eyes?
Yeah, I think it's structured differently. It's structured in a way where he's trying to protect the players and make sure that everybody's healthy going into the season. I'm not too used to, the way they do it, the slow, the medium, the fast days. But it's been good for my body and good for my mental. And I think that it's just going to help our team be in the best position that we can be.
There's been so much conversation about the cornerback room on this team and what it's going to look like. And does that part of the conversation ever come up amongst you guys of how it's going to filter out? Do you guys ever have discussions like that, or is that not really a thing?
I don't think it's really a thing. I think everybody shows up every day, work hard. We feed off each other. We compete. Obviously, being in the NFL, that it's going to be a competition. Everything's a competition. Everything's being evaluated. But it's ultimately not our decision. So I think, going into it, we just lean on each other for things that we need to lean on them for. But we fight, we push. And then we just try to make each other better every day.
What are some things that jump out in Max Melton's game that you appreciate more or curious to see more of?
I think Max is very savvy. I think he's smart. I think he's quick, and I think he learns very well and he learns fast. Just certain questions he asks in the meeting rooms and just how he retains information fast is I would say, a lot faster than I was as a rookie. So I think he's got a lot of things to look forward to for his career and for this season. And I'm hoping everything goes well for him.
He seems like he has a pretty big personality. Do you find that to be the case?
Yeah, Max has a big personality. I found that out when I followed him on social media. So I was always watching his stuff. I comment on everything he posts, just so I can mess with him. I'm always messing with him. But yeah, he's like that. Guys gravitate towards him. He's one of those guys that has a personality and he shows it, and feeds off of a lot of other people.
Is that something, as a veteran? Do you ever have to, especially telling a rookie, like, okay, maybe tone it down a little bit now that you're on the, or you don't really go there?
No, because I don't think it's too much. I think he does it in a way where he's just being himself, and I think it doesn't distract anybody. It's not like a distraction thing where certain guys are, their egos are high and things like that. He's more of just a cool, calm, and collective guy, but he's just a fun personality. He's himself all the time, and that's what I can appreciate.
What about Elijah Jones? What's standing out about him so far?
Yeah, Elijah, obviously, he's a bigger and longer corner. And it's the same way I think him and Max, or even just speaking on him, he's smart as well. He shows up every day, works hard. He answers questions before a lot of people answer questions in the room. He just shows up with the mindset of just getting better every day. I think that's the most important thing about being a DB, especially when you're a rookie, is just, having that open mindset to learn every day, to never feel like you know everything, and they show up and they do that every day.
Experience, what can rookie DBs do to shorten that learning curve as they're getting used to the league?
I think just really adapting, to the guys that's been in their position before and learning and knowing that they can learn through everybody and everything. I know for myself, I was fortunate to have not many, veteran DBs, but I played around a lot of veteran players, so I was able to learn different things from different position groups. And for them, it's the same thing. They can just learn on and lean on guys that's been in their positions before,
You mentioned Buddha earlier. JG told us earlier today that he addressed the team last night.
Yeah.
Can you share a little bit about what his message was to you guys?
Really just, being ready, being excited for everybody that's in the room, having guys that he's been so comfortable and having fun around. And, 8 years, like he said, he's been in the league, and he's just ready to go out there, and he's so enthused and so happy to be around the people that he's around. And everybody that showed up, has worked hard and has made him feel really good about the season going forward.
This is a pretty young room, especially cornerbacks. How competitive do you see it being with all the different guys and the talent that everyone has?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a real competitive room from the first day today until the end of training camp. I think you have so many different guys that come from different places and different situations. You got free agents, you got undrafted free agents that were here last year. You got guys that we drafted. So I think it's just going to be a healthy competition throughout the entire year and throughout training camp. And I think guys are just really prepared for it. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting, and it's going to be a lot to look forward to.
How about on the other side of the football? I mean, day one, did that kind of set a tone of competitiveness going forward?
Of course. I think, those guys have a lot of talent, obviously, in that receiving room, in the running back room. Obviously, Kyler's who he is, and I'm excited for him to see, the steps that he can take this year and take us all the way, and just doing the things that can put us in position to win. You got guys like Marvin who come in and, he gives a vet presence, and he's just a rookie. He shows up every day. He works hard, and so you can see, the type of abilities and things that he has, and looking forward to competing with him and making each other better, and just throughout camp, just really competing with everybody and making the entire environment like that.
What do you think of Marv's release moves? He's got a lot of them. Have you seen them all yet?
I don't think I've seen them all, but I'm sure he's got a lot more in his bag that he's not trying to show right away. But I think like I said, I think he's very, very talented. And I think he's got a lot to prove, not only to himself, but to the people that believe in him as well. And so, I'm one of those people, and I'm excited to see where he can go and where he can take his career.
Does he remind you of anyone you've played with or gone against so far?
I can't say he reminds me of anybody. I think he's more of, like I said, a guy that can create his own history. He's a guy that obviously comes from a lot of history, but he's trying to pave his own way in his own path. And, I can't sit there and say I can compare him to anybody. I think he's one-on-one, and he'll show that for you guys.
Sean, I think you might be the only guy on the team that has a Super Bowl ring. What kind of experience can that help here and then show up in the locker room?
Yeah. I mean, it's just being comfortable and being familiar with what it takes to get there. I think I've been around guys that, like I said earlier, have been fortunate to teach me ways and teach me the proper way to be a pro and to be an NFL player. And I've won championships. I've been in situations where we lost in the playoffs and been in situations where we won. So I think it's just a learning curve, and being able to utilize any situation that I've been through on the other guys and just teaching them that, you start really preparing for the playoffs now. It's always a building. It's always like lessons to be learned throughout the season, but you can't win the Super Bowl today. You got to build on it every day. You got to rely on the guys that you're around, and you got to trust that everybody's going to show up and do their jobs when it's time. So.
Speaking of that, are there any characteristics of this team now? I know it's early that kind of make you think that this has the makeup of what could be a playoff team.
I mean, I think our team is very talented in every position and every aspect of football. I think you can talk about it as much as you want. I can sit here and say we got we got this quarterback, we got this linebacker, but ultimately it's not going to really matter until we put that out there and we show that. So really, talk is cheap, as I would say, and it's really all about just going out there, showing up, and putting in the work and grinding.
The wisdom that you have that you just kind of referenced, do you share that with the guys? Do you wait till they ask you, or is this just part of who you are as a player in the locker room, just talking to guys like that?
I think it's a combination of all. I think, I'm a guy that speaks obviously when spoken to, but at the same time I can relate in many ways when I see guys kind of need it or when they need to hear certain things. I know when I can chime in, when I don't need to. But I think just as me as a person, I'm always thinking that way, and I'm always thinking on what can, make me the best. And obviously me being the best that I can be, it brings others to be around like that the same way. So I just try my best to make sure I'm always showing up and doing things the right way.
Sean, when you're grading yourself out, whether it be for an individual game or over the course of a season, are there any particular stats or numbers that you're keying in on?
No, I think when I'm grading myself, I'm very hard on myself. So it's certain things that I can look at and I can say a guy released this certain way and I wasn't on top in this amount of yard lines. So for me, it would be a bad rep, but to somebody else, it could be, oh, that was a perfect rep. So I think it's always different when you're grading yourself versus when somebody else is grading you. But as far as statistics go, I try to eliminate my opponent as best as I can and do whatever it is that the defense needs me to do. Obviously, you don't want the ball being caught on you. You want to make as many interceptions, as many plays as you can. So my job is to take the ball away and give it back to Kyler. So that's the plan, and that's what I want to do.